Hi everyone, Mr. Connolly here. Here's a few more from paper 2, that's the foundation paper from last year, 2019. And I'm going to focus on questions 3, 4 and 5. It's the non-calculated paper, so here we go. We've got some fraction questions, we've got some multiplies and divides, and then we've got some powers, square roots and whatever else at the bottom there. So we'll have a look through these. So the first one, complete each statement. So 3 over 7 equals something over 28. Now, with maths, we have quite a few rules. One of the rules we apply is we deal with things either side with equal sign. We do the same to both sides. That's the same for fractions. So as long as we do the same to the top as we do to the bottom, in most instances, in fact all instances, we have no problems. So what do I do to get from the number 7 up to the number 28? Well, some people say we add 21. We can't do that. We have to either multiply or divide. So to get from 7 up to 28, I multiply by 4, which means I have to multiply my numerator by 4. So that's 3 times 4. Means that the top of my fraction, or my equivalent fraction, is 12 over 28. Okay? Now the next one, 4.5. So I want you to think or visualise, sorry for these dodgy drawings, I want you to think of, in this case, boxes that are split in halves. I want you to imagine they're identical. I know they're not. So that's a whole one, a whole one, a whole one, a whole one. And on this last box, we've got half a one. So if I just put a mark in those boxes, okay, I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4 whole boxes and half a box. Okay, and what this is saying, because it's over 2, how many halves? I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, and 1 there means I've got 9 halves. That's 9 over 2. Now, if you get a more complicated value, so let's say you just said that was 57.25, it's obviously going to take you a long time to draw. So what you do your number times your denominator, add your numerator. So watch, 4 times 2 is 8, add 1 gives me 9. Okay, the next one, 2/3 minus 1/5. Now, whenever we're adding or subtracting fractions, we need what's called a common denominator. So how do I work out what my common denominator is? Well, the normal thing is that we multiply together our two denominators. So a little tip I tell people, and if I've taught you, you'll hopefully recall this. So 3 times 5 is 15, so it's something over 15 minus something over 15 equals something over 15. And I tell people to put these all the way through. Sometimes it avoids a little bit of sort of problems. We then what we call cross multiply. I'm sure you'll have seen this. So 5 times 2 gives me 10, which is the number 10 that I've got there. And then we cross multiply the other value, which is, where are we, sorry, 3 times 1 is 3. And then I've already taken the denominator through, and so we just need to find out the numerator. 10 minus 3 gives me 7. And again, as I said before, pretty much any examiner would give you the marks for that, but just don't make it tricky for yourself. Put the answer in the allocated space. Okay, next one we've got is 0.7 times 0.3. Now, I always take decimals out of value questions like this and then put them back in at the end. So I want you to think of this as just 7 times by 3, which is 21. So take 1, 2 decimals out. Now, although it's not shown, the decimal point for that number is there. Just put a little dot for it. So it'll be 21 point something. I've got to put 2 decimals back in, so it's back 1. Back 2, so it's 0.21. Okay, so watch again. I take 2 decimals out, I do the sum, I put 2 decimals back in. Same again, 0.48 divided by 6. I'm going to take the 2 decimals out, so 48 divided by 6 is 8. And then I'm going to put my two decimals back in. So it becomes 0.08. Again, the position of the decimal will be there. Back one hop is 0.8. Back two hops is 0.08. Okay, the last bit, complete the following. 5 squared. Well, this little squared value here means itself times itself. So that actually means 5 times by 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. This is a bit of an awkward one, the cubed root. Now, that basically means the value times itself, and the cube root of 64, unfortunately, is something you really need to know. So think of your square and cube numbers as 4, because 4 times 4 is 16, times by 4 again equals your 64. And then we've got 2 cubed times by the square root of 49. So 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And the square root of 49 is 7. So 8 times 7. Again, we need to be fluent with our times tables. Gives me my answer of 56. Okay, and again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another 10 marks available on that page there. Hope that helps you.